casualties, we defeated the Japanese militarists, thereby making a decisive contribution to humanity's triumph over fascism. And the Chinese people did not fight the war alone. We received valuable support from the international community. With the solidarity of nations and peoples who cherish peace and justice, we have together written a grand chapter in human history. Also 80 years ago, the United Nations was born, established by a generation who has learned the painful lessons of 2 world wars. The organization embodies mankind's aspiration for a better future. At the San Francisco conference, delegates from across the world unanimously adopted a document that will change the course of history. The Charter of the United Nations has laid the foundation for multilateralism and set forth the basic norms governing international relations. China was proud to be the first country to sign the Charter, and has since worked hard, hand in hand with all nations, for peace and development. However, 80 years later, this journey toward peace and development remains long and arduous. Looking around the world, we find that conflicts and confrontation are still rampant, and the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development is lagging behind, and the multilateralism is facing strong headwinds. It is at this critical juncture that we gather here to commemorate the 80th anniversary of the victory of World War II. Soon, a commemorative video will be projected on the UN building, an invitation for all of us to revisit the UN's founding missions and a call to learn from history as we look toward the future. In this connection, I wish to share 4 points. First, we must remember history and advocate the correct historical view of World War II. The post-war international order was achieved through the blood and sacrifice of countless predecessors. Any attempt to distort the history of World War II, to deny its victorious outcomes, or to glorify aggression is a mockery of history and an insult to human conscience. The international community must stand firm in defending the true historical record, and resolutely reject any attempt to reverse the course of history. Second, we must defend peace and resolve our security dilemmas through cooperation. It is incumbent upon all of us to draw wisdom and strength from the great victory of the world anti-fascist war, and to work tirelessly to save succeeding generations from the scourge of war. Let us champion the purposes and the principles of the UN Charter, uphold the vision of common, comprehensive, cooperative, and sustainable security, and settle our differences and disputes through peaceful means. Third, we must strengthen solidarity and together address global challenges. Confronted with a myriad of global issues, no country can remain completely unscathed. A divided and confrontational world will only lead humanity into a dead end. We must abandon the outdated Cold War or zero-sum game mentality, reject the illusions of profit above principle and the power above justice. Instead, let us embrace extensive consultation, joint contribution, and shared benefits, and rally the strength of all, so that we can take the actions that our world so urgently needs. Fourth, we must uphold the authority of the United Nations and practice multilateralism. The more complex and turbulent the world becomes, the more imperative it is to uphold and maintain the UN's authority. We must support the UN in playing a central role in international affairs and support this organization in keeping pace with the changing times. At the same time, we must boost global confidence in multilateralism and steer the global governance system toward a more just and a more reasonable direction. Dear friends, the echoes of history carry humanity's timeless longing for peace. Every choice we make today will shape tomorrow's world. Standing at this new historical crossroads, China stands ready to join hands with all parties, with determination, with solidarity, and with a shared commitment to building a better world for all. I thank you.
Thank you, Ambassador Fu. The UN's Department